Hey everyone, my name is ScottNome, and welcome back to another challenge run, the series where we take a game but we play it with a special twist. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe to help out the channel and to stay tuned for other videos. So I've recently gotten back into the Pokemon series and I wanted to replay Pokemon Fire Red since I never had a chance to completely beat the game. But I figured that it would be too easy, so I wanted to add some flavor to the mix. However, instead of doing a Nuzlocke, I wanted to do something a little more unique. So I decided to play Pokemon as Scrooge McDuck and try to save all my money and not spend a single dollar. So the question for this video is, can you beat Pokemon Fire Red without spending any money? The rules for the challenge are as follows. Number 1, I cannot spend any money anywhere, which includes Pokemon Centers, Pokemarts, and other stores. Number 2, no glitches or exploits. Number 3, I can use the items I was given from NPCs as long as they were not bought, so hidden items will be a key to winning this challenge. And rule number 4, no items will be used in battle except held items and pokeballs, but items outside of combat are allowed. I personally think that we will be able to beat all 8 gym leaders, but I feel like getting to the gyms may be a problem since we will be limited to what Pokemon we can catch and what 8 gyms they can learn. Also, going against the Elite Four might pose a challenge as well, since we won't be able to heal easily in between fights. So make sure you leave your predictions in the comments below, and with that being said, let's start the run. So as the run starts, I'm forced to make the most important choice of the run. Which starter should we pick? Looking at the gyms, Bulbasaur thrives in the beginning gyms but struggles down the road. Plus we could easily catch a grass type, so he's out of the picture. Next is Squirtle. He has a very good move pool and does okay with the other gyms, but he is a water type and I'm planning on training a Magikarp as my water type. This leaves us with Charmander. He doesn't do well in the first few gyms, but he becomes a beast later on in the game. Plus, he's a fire type, which isn't very common. On top of that, he's also capable of learning Fly, which means we don't have to waste a Pokeball on a flying type. So therefore, we will be choosing Charmander for the run. After selecting our starter, our rival challenges us to a fight, and after a lucky crit, Gary is able to mop the floor with us. I was about to actually restart the run, since normally you have to pay money to the winner, and it would end the challenge. But since it's our first battle, we don't have to give up any of our precious money. After the battle, we're on our way. Before we go to Brock's gym, we must deliver Oak's parcel, and in doing so he gives us 5 free Pokeballs, which will allow us to catch Pokemon without having to spend any money. For these balls, I decided that catching a Mankey will be most beneficial since he can do well at Brock's gym, plus he's a strong fighting type that will be worthwhile for the run. He can also learn the 8 gems Rock Smash and Strength, which we'll need for later in the game. So the only thing I had to do was catch him with only 1 Pokeball. It took about 4 reloads, but I was able to catch him and I gave him the name Maurice. After leveling up Maurice, it was time to fight our rival. He sends out Pidgey, but I hit him with some low kicks and Pidgey is out of the fight. Next he sends in Squirtle, and I keep on spamming low kicks until Mankey is eventually knocked out. I send out Cinder and hit him with a few scratches and he's defeated. We're now one step closer to our fight against Brock. After trekking through the forest, our next major battle is against the gym leader Brock. His team consists of mostly rock types, so we have to rely solely on Maurice, since rock moves are super effective against Charmander. For the fight, we start off with Maurice, and after landing 2 karate chops, we KO his Geodude. Next up, Brock sends in his Onix, and after we crit with karate chop, another one is all that's needed to set Onix spinning. After defeating Brock, we have accumulated 5,208 Pokedollars to our name, and we have not had to spend a single penny so far this run. Something interesting I found was that we actually can't go into the museum since the admission fee costs $50, but there isn't too much there anyway, so we're on our way to Mount Moon. Mount Moon was pretty easy to get past, other than the fact I couldn't spend any money on repels, so I got very used to seeing our good pals Geodude and Zubat. Other than that, however, I did have a small hiccup against the scientist near the fossils. He poisoned one of my Pokemon, so I had to go all the way back to the Pokemon Center to heal. On the bright side though, after that fight, our Charmander evolved into a Charmeleon, so that will help us a bit for the next gym. When I came back in the cave, I decided to take the Dome Fossil, but it doesn't matter too much what you pick. As we enter Cerulean City, we are then challenged by our rival. I start off with Mankey as he sends in his Pidgeotto, and I use Mega Punch hoping for a one-hit KO. But his Pidgeotto is able to land a super effective gust on me. However, after a few more turns, his Pidgeotto finally falls. Next is Abra, and since Abra doesn't have any moves other than Teleport, we're able to bully him with our Charmeleon. Next up, he sends in Squirtle, so I send Mankey back in. I start off with Mega Punch, but it doesn't do too much damage. Squirtle hits us with 2 more water guns and Mankey falls. But Cinder lands 1 scratch and is able to take him down. That just leaves Rattata. But after a few embers, the rat falls and we're able to train on the Nugget Bridge before our fight against Misty. After grinding up a bit, we challenge the gym leader Misty to a fight. As the battle begins, I start with Charmeleon so I can one-shot Misty Staryu with ease, which works without fail. I then decide to keep Charmeleon in and try to land another one-shot, but it doesn't turn out well and we get decimated by Water Pulse. I then send out Mankey to finish her off, but she uses a super potion just in time to save her Starmite, and after a Water Pulse and a Swift, I'm out of the game, and I have to reload my save to avoid losing our precious cash. After the fight, I had to make a decision. Do I try to catch another Pokemon and waste one of our limited Pokeballs? Or do I hope I can grind to a level where we can take out Misty's Pokemon? I decided to grind Mankey to level 24 and Charmeleon to level 25, and then it was time to have a rematch with Misty. This time I decided to lead with Mankey so Misty would use the potion earlier than last fight. We almost did too much damage, but sure enough, Misty uses the potion next turn, but Mankey then takes him out with 2 punches. After that, it's just a Starmite battle. He hits Mankey with Water Pulse, but luckily Mankey was still able to get the Mega Punch off. However, 1 more Water Pulse and Mankey is fainted. Next it was Charmeleon's time to shine, and after getting lucky and both Mega Kicks landing, the second gym badge is ours. After the gym and after selling some non-essential items, our new total is $26,852. We are now on our way to the Ssam, but before boarding I stopped to get a fishing rod and then I proceeded to catch a Magikarp. It took a few attempts, but we were able to only use 1 Pokeball. We will name him Mark.
Oh, hi Mark.
I then grind him for a bit. After what seemed like forever, we got him to level 20 so he could evolve and I could teach him Water Pulse. Now it's time to enter the Ssam. While on the boat, we run into Gary and fight against his team. I start with Mark and we intimidate his Pidgeotto and I hit him with Water Pulse. 1 more Water Pulse and he's taken out. Next is Raticate and I switch out to Maurice. After 1 super effective Karate Chop, Raticate is taken out. Then next up is his Kadabra, and we hit him with 2 Karate Chops even though they're not effective, and we're able to take him out. Next is Wartortle, and we hit him with a Mega Punch. The next Mega Punch lands as well, but he's holding on by a thread. 1 more and Wartortle is defeated. With the battle out of our way, we can now get to the captain. But first, our Mankey evolved into a Primate, which will help us out for the next gym. After giving a questionable back rub to the captain, we are now entering the hard part of the challenge, HMs. As I mentioned earlier, we will need at least 6 HM spots, 1 of which being Cut. That being said, the only one on our team who can learn Cut is Charmeleon, and I don't want to waste one of his move spots on Cut since he will be taught Fly. So instead, we will be catching another Pokemon. After doing some research, I decided that we would catch an Oddish since he can learn Cut and Flash. And he's a very strong Grass type, which will cover more matchups. Plus, Oddish learns many status moves, such as Poison Powder and Sleep Powder, so these moves will help us in the future battles. After going out and catching an Oddish first try, which I named Olimar, I teach it Cut and we can enter the gym. After clearing out the gym, we fight the 3rd gym leader, Lieutenant Surge. I was actually surprised how much of a cakewalk this gym was. I was able to OHKO his first 2 Pokemon just by using Mega Punch and getting some crazy damage. I guess that Maurice evolving really did help us out a ton. The only problem we had was Raichu was able to get a hit off on us, however we just hit him with another Mega Punch. And just like that, we have the Thunder Badge. After selling our items and beating the gym, our new total is $47,124. So next I went through Diglett Cave and I went to Route 2 to get the HM Flash. However, I forgot that you have to have caught 10 Pokemon, so this HM is unattainable. So I'll have to do the Rock Tunnel, completely blind. I thought it'd be a chore, but I only got lost a few times, plus I used a map from Google, so it wasn't awful. Now we're in Lavender Town and we have to fight our rival again. This was another easy fight. I started with Maurice, and after a few Water Pulses, the Pidgeotto was knocked out. And then, for the rest of the team, I was able to just one-hit KO them, with the only exception being his Wartortle, which ended up only taking 3 turns anyway. After the fight, we can now proceed to Celadon City to fight Erica, the next gym leader. We arrive at Celadon City, and after tearing through the trainers at the gym, I realized just how easy this would be. She's a grass gym leader, so I'm just going to start off with Cinder and just steamroll through her team. The battle starts and that's exactly what happens. Each Pokemon goes down with a single flamethrower. Due to our speed, her Pokemon don't even have time to use a single move before they're taken out, so we don't even have to worry about any status effects slowing us down. After our victory, we now have 4 gym badges, and our new total is way higher than I would have guessed. since we're currently at $88,188. We are now off to enter Team Rocket's hideout and fight Giovanni. On our way, however, Cinder evolves into Charizard, so it'll be very helpful for the fight. The fight against Giovanni begins, and Gyarados puts in work and knocks out both his Onix and his Rhyhorn with Water Pulse. His last Pokemon is Kangaskhan, which doesn't go down as easy, but a few more Dragon Rages we win the fight and obtain the Silph Scope. Now we head back to Lavender Town. Interesting side note, if this was Pokemon Fire and not Fire Red, there would be no way to get through the Thirsty Guard, since in Gen 1 you have to buy water from a vending machine, but since this is Gen 3, we can get the tea from the old lady in the apartment complex and keep the run alive. We are now back in Lavender Town, and with the Silph Scope in hand we can free the Marowak and obtain the flute from Mr. Fuji. Now we head to Saffron City. I decided to train at the dojo and get some more levels on our Oddish. On top of that, we get a free Pokemon and we get to choose between a Hitmonlee or a Hitmonchan. I decided to take the Hitmonlee. Now with our training out of the way, we are now on our way to liberate Silphco. While we are liberating the place, we run into our rival. The first fight, I forgot that flying is super effective versus fighting, so our Primate is knocked out, but we switch to Mark and easily clean. Next is a Growlithe, which we OHKO with Water Pulse. Next is Execute, and he dies to one Flamethrower from Cinder. His next Pokemon is Blastoise, so I send out Mark and hit him with Dragon Rage a few times and he falls. That gives us enough XP to have Mark learn Hydro Pump. Last up is Alakazam, and after 2 Hydro Pumps he is down and our rival is defeated. We also talk to the man at Silphco and we're given a free Lapras, which will greatly help us out. We will name him Leo. It's now time for our rematch with Giovanni. The first Pokemon he uses is Nidorino, but after a few Hydro Pumps he is on the ground. Next is Rhyhorn, and this time it takes just 1 Hydro Pump to knock him out. Kangaskhan gives us some trouble again, since he knocks out Mark, but I send out Cinder and he's able to clean him up. Last up is Nidoqueen, and again after a few Flamethrowers, we have defeated his last Pokemon and Silphco has been fully liberated. The next major fight is against Sabrina, the 5th gym leader who specializes in psychic types. The battle started with me OHKOing the Kadabra with Flamethrower. Next is Mr. Mime, who's taken low by Flamethrower, but she uses a potion, but we're able to take him low again with Flamethrower. But another Hyper Potion is used, so we won't have to worry about that later in the fight. Next is Venomoth, who goes down instantly with Flamethrower. Last up is Alakazam, and he goes down with a few Flamethrowers. And with that, Gym 5 is defeated, and our current balance is $152,480, which is way more than I thought it'd be. Before we head to Fuchsia City, I have to wake up Snorlax and beat him in a fight. Afterwards, I try to take the leftovers, which, for those that don't know, is a very good held item that restores the user's health after each turn. But we need the item finder for this item to appear. However, we can't get the item finder since we haven't caught enough Pokemon, so we'll have to continue the challenge without it. Now we're at Fuchsia City and we have to fight Koga, the poison type gym leader. We start off strong and one-shot his Koffing with Flamethrower. Next is Muck, and after a few Flamethrowers he goes down easily. We one-shot his next Koffing with Flamethrower, and this fight is going way easier than I thought. I had no idea Charizard was this strong. Next, all we have to fight is this Weezing. We start off strong with Flamethrower, but Koga uses the potion. However, another Flamethrower and he's knocked out. With that, we now have 6 gym badges and we have accumulated $170,136, and now we're off to Cinnabar Island. But first, we must get the HM Surf. However, the HM Surf is in the secret house in the Safari Zone, which we can't enter since it requires spending $500. I tried looking online to see if there's a way around this. I did find out that Lapras does learn Surf by level up. However, this is only for Gen 7. So to answer this video's question, you cannot beat Pokemon Fire Red without spending any money. While it is upsetting to see the run come to a close, I'm pretty impressed with how far we were able to make it without needing to spend any money at all. It was actually pretty fun trying to plan my team out and making each Pokeball count and making each move count as well. So this concludes another challenge video. So if you liked the video, make sure you drop a like, and if you are new here, make sure you subscribe since I'm currently working on other videos in this series. I also recently completed a randomized Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke, which I put the full playlist in the description below. And with all that out of the way, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one.